So something I would like to ask your opinion on, because this is something that that has, been on my mind, and it's been on the mind of lots of people watching, and that has to do with the UK judgment. Amber Heard very badly wants the UK judgment to be admitted into evidence in her case. There's, good reasons why the judgment found in her favor. The judgment made a lot of comments about the credibility of the respective witnesses and the evidence and so forth. But we've already had a legal ruling from the court that the judgment is, for all intents and purposes, legally insignificant in Virginia. It is not controlling. Virginia is going to decide this dispute independently. And so when I look at what the possible grounds for admitting this judgment would be, I come up a little bit short on rationale. The judgment itself is hearsay. It's an out-of-court statement made by somebody who is not testifying. She is presumably offering it for the truth of the contents. It does contain material that, at least in my world, in the criminal world, you don't get to comment on the credibility of the witnesses. You don't get to offer opinions on the ultimate issue. You don't get to basically infer somebody's guilt and argue that to the jury. Yeah. There may be a little bit more of a relaxed standard for that in the civil context that I'm not really sure. So I don't really see an avenue to get at least the language of this judgment in. I could see a potential argument that the fact of the judgment would be admissible because it presumably has had an effect on Johnny Depp's reputation and his ability to get work. So there's a distinction there that I see, and I would very much love your off the cuff.
Yeah,
I mean, it's to it at all.
Yeah, it's
to that.
So I mean, as soon as you mentioned that she's trying to get this admitted, that was my first question, in my head was like, I mean, under like, what would be the justification for that? Like, for what purpose? Because it's like, you can't just admit evidence just to admit evidence, right? Like it has to be at the very least relevant, and like the relevancy has to outweigh any prejudicial effect. And that would definitely have a lot of prejudicial effect against Johnny Depp, which is, of course, one reason why Amber Heard wants it.
Probably the main reason.
yeah, probably. But it has to, I mean, the relevance has to outweigh the prejudicial effect also. So I'm trying to figure, like, what kind of relevance could there be? I mean, like, I don't know. I'm really struggling at this moment. I might need to sit and think about it for a while because at this point, like, there's nothing that jumps out at me to think like what that could possibly have. I mean, because they've already tried it. To me, instinctively, it feels like trying to get a second bite at the apple, because they did try to use that, to basically say, we don't need to try this case because it's already been tried, and just substitute that, scoop it up from over there, bring it over here. Boom, we're done. We don't need to spend money on legal fees, Your Honor. Like, go on to the next case. You've got a long docket. You've got a bunch of cases to try. This isn't one that you need to do. And in cases where, there is enough of a similarity, I mean, it has to be like a 1-to-1 similarity between the cases in order for it to apply, to be able to use a prior judgment, in a current case to make it go away. In this case, there were just too many differences between the UK case and here. And it just seems to me like my instinct is they're just trying to get a second bite at the apple. They're trying to sort of not quite collateral estoppel it, but kind of collateral estoppel it.
Yeah, they're trying to kind of get the benefits of that from the jury when it's, it's a legal conclusion. It's the type of the thing that the judge decides that. But they're essentially trying to relitigate that preclusion issue to the jury. At least that's really the only basis I can see for why it would be admissible. I mean, what an argument would be for admitting it.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that I could think of is like, I mean, maybe there's something in Adam Waldman's statements, during the litigation that are at issue or something that somehow it relates to that. But I don't I don't see how you could. I don't know. I don't see how there would be a connection there at this point. I might have to sit and think about it a little bit longer, like I said.
And it may just be a wait and see. You know, a lot of this stuff is going to be a wait and see at trial, and you know, they will, once they try to proffer it, they will have to have, you know, made their justification clear. So